Howdy, everyone. Cliffy here from Cliff Dive into Movies, and let's take a deep dive to 1981 and let's talk about Tarzan the Ape Man.
I feel so strange. Like I'm reading this in a book.
Marketing for Tarzan the Ape Man said this was unlike any other Tarzan you've ever seen, which was bold. It ended up being truthful, but it was still bold because this is a remake of the 1932 Tarzan the Ape Man starring Johnny Weissmuller and Maureen O'Sullivan. And it's not even the first remake, the first one being 1959's Tarzan the Ape Man, starring Denny Miller and Joanna Barnes. Officially, one of the things that would make this Tarzan movie different from any other Tarzan movie was that the story would be from Jane's point of view. Of course, if you've seen the original Tarzan the Ape Man and its sequel Tarzan and His Mate, you would notice that both of them are from Jane's point of view also. Of course, what would make this Tarzan different from any other Tarzan movie would be, well, technically it's not very good, and that's putting it lightly, and also nudity. Lots and lots of nudity. When MGM announced that they were making a new Tarzan movie, it immediately upset both the Edgar Rice Burroughs estate and Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers had just bought the rights from the Burroughs estate to make a Tarzan movie and thought that if MGM's came out first, it would ruin any interest in their movie. They turned out to be wrong. Theirs did quite well on its own. The Burroughs estate was upset because MGM didn't pay them. MGM said they could make any number of remakes of the original 1932 movie and didn't need to pay the Burroughs estate. Also, the Burroughs estate wasn't happy that the MGM movie would have a lot of nudity in it. The Burroughs estate was keen to always keep Tarzan family friendly. So, the Burroughs estate tried to get an injunction to stop the production of the movie, but lost. However, MGM did agree to cut 4 minutes of nudity from the movie, but the movie would still end up being R-rated, the only R-rated Tarzan movie to date. The Warner Brothers movie would become 1984's Greystoke, The Legend of Tarzan, Lord of the Apes, starring Christopher Lambert as Tarzan. It would end up doing pretty good. It was quite successful, and it even got 3 Academy Award nominations. In the late 1970s and early 80s, Bo Derek was hot. She was riding a wave of popularity from the movie 10, where she starred as the object of Dudley Moore's affection, or to put it honestly, lust. But anyway, Bo Derek and her husband John Derek signed a 3-picture deal with MGM where John Derek would direct the movies and Bo Derek would star in them. They would both be producers of the films. The other 2 movies in the deal ended up being 1984's Bolero and 1989's Ghost Can't Do It. At the time of filming for Tarzan, Bo Derek was 24 years old. The screenplay was written by Tom Morrow and Gary Goddard. Goddard would later direct the Masters of the Universe movie and would later work on theme park rides. Richard Harris was cast as Jane's father, James Parker. He was happy to work with the Derricks because he had become friends with them when he worked with Bo Derek on Orca. Boxer Lee Canaletto was cast as Tarzan. He had been seen as Sylvester Stallone's brother in the movie Paradise Alley. However, he didn't stay for very long. Canaletto has never publicly said why he was let go, but the 2 main reasons seem to be: one, either he had hurt his leg prior to filming and just wasn't able to do the stunts, or 2, he just didn't have the build, or to put it bluntly, he was just too chubby to play Tarzan. Bo Derek has made comments to the effect that he was too flabby for the role. As a quick replacement, Canaletto's stunt double, 27-year-old Miles O'Keefe, was quickly hired to be the new Tarzan. Previous Tarzan, Jock Mahoney, served as the stunt coordinator for this movie. John Philip Law, Sinbad in The Golden Voyage of Sinbad, was cast as Harry Holt. Here, Holt is a photographer and not a big game hunter. Wilfred Hyde White, Dr. Goodfellow in Buck Rogers in the 25th Century, is the voice of the narrator in the beginning of the movie.
Ah, there you are. Oh, gentlemen, I have such a fantastic story for you.
Really?
I always thought that he was supposed to be Edgar Rice Burroughs telling the story to people at a club of some sort, but the name was changed after the Burroughs estate was not too keen on the making of this movie. The movie was filmed in Sri Lanka and the Republic of Seychelles in the Indian Ocean. Filming took place from January to March of 1981, and the movie was released in July of 1981. It had an unusually short time span from filming to release because there had been an actor strike in 1980, and MGM was concerned that they wouldn't have enough movies ready for 1981. The filmmakers hid the fact that filming did not take place in Africa very well. If you ignore the fact that the people are not African, the palm trees in the background, the Asian elephants, the orangutan, the boa constrictor. I had to look it up. Boa constrictors are found in Africa now, but they aren't native to Africa. In fact, the one in the movie was from Thailand. We do see two chimpanzees and we do see a lion. The production had two lions on hand during filming. There was an incident with one of the lions during production. During the scene at the inland sea, when Tarzan and Jane are at the waterline, one of the lions attacked. Accounts vary, and there seems to be two variations of the story. Either one, the lion attacked O'Keefe because the lion was protecting Bo Derek from O'Keefe, or two, the lion attacked Bo Derek because, he is a lion and they do attack what they consider prey. Either way, O'Keefe was able to run interference to allow Derek to get to the water, where she figured the lion wouldn't go. Both actors got minor scratches, but nothing very serious. The story of the 1981 Tarzan the Ape Man is mostly the same as the original 1932 one and the 59 remake. Jane goes to visit her father, James. James is going on an expedition to go up an escarpment to the elephant graveyard. They meet Tarzan. The expedition gets attacked, and Tarzan saves them with the help of an elephant herd. James dies. Jane goes to live with Tarzan. Holt doesn't get the girl. So, what was the reception for the 1981 Tarzan the Ape Man? Well, let's compare it to the other two Tarzan the Ape Mans. 1932 Tarzan the Ape Man is considered a classic. It's considered one of the best movies in cinema history, and it's definitely considered the best or one of the best Tarzan movies ever made. The 1959 Tarzan the Ape Man, however, was considered the worst Tarzan movie ever made. And the 1981 Tarzan the Ape Man managed to make that one look good. As it stands now, Tarzan the Ape Man 1981 is considered the worst Tarzan movie ever made, and also is usually considered the worst movie ever made, or one of the worst movies ever made by a major studio. And yes, it is that bad. However, in 1982, Bo Derek got a Jupiter Award for Best International Actress. A Jupiter Award is Germany's combination of an Academy Award and a People's Choice Award, so it's like their Academy Awards, but it goes to movies that people actually saw. Researching the movie, I found that the budget was somewhere between either 5.1, 6.5, or $8 million. Depends upon the source. It seems like it's all over the place. However, it did come in under budget at $4 million. $3 million was spent on the actual making of the movie, and then another $1 million was earmarked for marketing. Overall, it made $36 million at the box office, so it was a hit. Well, it wasn't a hit, but at least it made money. In today's dollars, that would make the budget roughly $17.7 million on the low side to $27.7 million on the high side, with a box office of $124.6 million, which is a considerable profit, which movies nowadays have a hard time doing. Which is interesting because it proves that Tarzan is a very popular character, always has been, always will be, or people just want to go see a movie that has a naked woman in it. Personally, I have never gone to see a movie just because I thought the lead actress was going to be naked in it. However, I would have to confess, maybe a third of my DVDs have been bought because I thought the woman in it was scantily clad. Oh, and also for the record, there's a lot of publicity material, and it's in the trailer, I believe, where Bo Derek is wearing a bikini or a jungle loincloth. It's not anywhere in the movie at all. And what do I personally think of this version of Tarzan the Ape Man? For an action-adventure movie, it's dull. Not much happens. The expedition to go to the elephant graveyard has very little action in it. The only time anything happens is one, there's an elephant that's supposed to be attacking them, but it just stands there and does nothing. Another instance is a guy gets killed when the rope breaks going up the escarpment, but that's done off camera. The expedition gets wiped out by the native tribe at the end of the movie, but that's done off camera. Tarzan goes to save everybody with the elephant stampede, which for some reason stops at the river, and he has to get off and goes the rest of the way on foot, so the elephants make no difference whatsoever. Tarzan and Jane fight a snake, and Tarzan fights the tribal chief, Both of them are done in slow motion, and I guess it's supposed to make it more exciting, but it just kind of ruins any sort of danger and just seems like an odd choice. The acting is horrible. Bo Derek can't act. Richard Harris doesn't seem to be able to figure out how to play James Parker. Is the guy an asshole? Is he just a blowhard? Is he a good guy, bad guy? It's hard to say. There's no real grasp of exactly how the character is. Holt doesn't get to do anything. All he does is just pine after Jane. Tarzan has no dialogue, so all Tarzan does is just stand there looking at Jane, which doesn't give Miles O'Keefe much of an opportunity to make an impression as Tarzan. And in fact, in the publicity for promoting the movie, they didn't even use Miles O'Keefe. He wasn't included. They just used Bo Derek. And then, like, even in the movie posters, he's at the bottom because really Tarzan's not important to this movie. One thing that got me was just the basic storytelling. The whole point is to go to the elephant graveyard, and at no point do they actually go to the elephant graveyard. And then at the end, James Parker dies, Holt is tied up, and then Jane is freed, and it's like, I'm not even sure if they rescued Holt or not. They're just standing there like, I can't believe this. And he's like, no, I can't. And it just ends, and it's like, did they actually free him or not? And to show just how much things have changed over the years, in the 1932 version, Tarzan played with Jane's feet to symbolize sexual attraction. In 1981, we don't have to be so, we can be more obvious about it. And that's Tarzan the Ape Man from 1981. Hope you liked this video as much as I liked making it. In the comment section, let me know what you think of this particular version of Tarzan. Check out my other videos I have on this channel, and take care.